What the hell? Maybe this is just a looper. Ooh, just reset. Okay. This one is a looper, which means it's probably actually, I can only hope, a bad battery. Probably is not going to be a bad battery, but I'm hoping it is just a bad battery. Yes. The downside is, of course, you inevitably break the damn glass on these ones. It's always such a schlep. What the hell? Two A1466s in the rubbish bin for some reason. That can't be right. I think they just fell in there. Let's see. Right, iPad tools. Teresa, it's different micro. It's not the same micro, it's different. And I made full well sure that Lewis realised he was being an idiot. Hey John, Serge, Teresa, Bob, Mark, Bird, Jim, Neon, Van Rieper, Dennis, Noosa. Alright, so basically we've got this iPad, it's looping, which many cases does tend to be the battery at fault. Not always, but many cases. So I'm hoping it will be the battery tonight because the person wants their data, so it would be somewhat advantageous if it was a straightforward process. Because the fact that it just, it comes up, it shows the Apple logo, but then it gives up, it's pretty common. Now there's a moderately good chance that this screen is going to snap when I get a little judicious with it. I mean, I'll try not to, obviously, but it does happen. No, I don't have more than one micro, I just mean a different picture of micro. Sorry if I wasn't clear on that. What you actually hope for with these sort of jobs is that the person has had a screen replacement in the past, because if they've had a screen replacement in the past, it means then that the glue is usually less aggressive, but this one feels like an original, so I'm going to have to deal with the fact that it's going to be quite tough. We do have some MacBooks to do as well tonight. Just gonna take it a little bit easy around here because this is where the heater obviously is fairly hot. Yeah, we've got the Wi-Fi antennas down here. We don't want to get unlucky. Damn it, something's binding over there. Might be Nancy. You binding, Nancy? Okay, we'll leave that one for the moment. We'll work our way across the camera top. Hey, boss. Biggest thing I hate about the top of the iPads is that the frame is plastic. Okay, I think it's enough heat there. It's actually starting to get my knuckles a little bit. I don't really care to have fried knuckles. Yeah, the top of the frame is plastic, so it's a little too easy to gouge it. I mean, obviously you don't want to, but it does happen. Says you have a TAFE literacy test and barbecue lunch. A literacy test? I'm not even sure what to think about that. What's the point of a literacy test? I suppose if I knew I wouldn't have to take one. Okay, I'm not sure why that's... Or is it the actual screen itself is damaged there? So there's got to be one little bastard that holds on. Well, that was some ASMR there. So we can get a hold of this strip of black plastic here. Actually, come to think of it, I kind of need that, but too late now. If you can get a hold of this, and you can just extract it all the way around, it effectively removes a lot of the adhesive for you, because it is the adhesive. It's the carrier for the adhesive, I should rather say. Just trying not to shatter it at the moment. No, I don't need to worry about that side. Alright, so we just got to do this front section. And traditionally I just use the hot air for it. Hey there, Pedro. Just see if I can pull on that strip a bit. Yeah. It's half of it out. Now we've got to do the other half. Shut up, Gecko. No one wants to hear that joke. It's surprising how far you can bend this glass. Okey-doke-doke. I may end up putting a new digitizer on it regardless, simply because of the fact that the new digitizer comes with new adhesive. Whereas if I want to hold on to this one, I have to try and lay down separate strips of adhesive, you know, tessitape, things like that. And it's almost always a bit of a subpar outcome compared to simply using a new digitizer. On the other hand, though, if this is a genuine, and I'm pretty sure it is a genuine Apple digitizer, then it's going to be of superior quality, most likely. Can't even grab the damned flap with my tweezers. There we go. So it's a bit of a choice. Just have to cut out that plastic. As it always, one of the more precarious, nerve-wracking things to do on the iPads, getting these displays out. Some of them are very easy. Some of them, yeah, there's not a lot of. It's a bit like underfill on chips. Sometimes it's not a big drama. Other times, you wonder if it's ever going to release on you. Wow, this one's toughy. It really is. This one's like, I will not go quietly into the night. Wow. Damn. Try a bit of heat, maybe. Still not coming up. Ugh, finally. Something's got it. Something's got it really jammed up under there. there's a plastic spudger. I didn't like that sound. I don't like that kind of sound. It's an expensive sound. I have no idea what's snaring it. Oh, finally. Oh, it actually snapped off its, well, not snapped off, but it sheared off its retaining lug. These things never go easy, do they now? So there's got to be something. Unfortunately, it's not display damage, but it's annoying. Okay. Put that in the safety. Very carefully grab this and not touch any pins. So here's the hard part. And of course now I have to get this assembly off, hopefully without too much damage. Looks like there's some rust developing along the side here. Interesting. We don't like rust. Hey Dave VC. Jim, sorry to hear about the ER situation. Yeah, okay, I don't know if it's showing up. Let's see if I can get it to show up in the camera. But you'll probably see as I rotate it around, the battery is dimpling. It's got lots of little dimples up here. So yeah, that's the most likely candidate for why we have this issue at the moment. Here's hoping I actually have one in stock. Sometimes I forget to order replacements. Particularly at the moment because of the fact that as soon as you order a battery, it goes and gets shipped on the really slow mode. Okay, I'm just gonna go see if I've got a replacement and also I've got to get a new yellow spudger. What I will do in the interim is prepare everything by drowning it in alcohol. Okay. Somebody have a battery around here. Alright, who's hoping I actually have one? I found two. I'm just not sure which one's which. Let's see. What model? We've got a 6th gen. Okay. Fairly sure I've got a 6th gen. i5, iPad Air, iPad 2017, 18 and 19. 17, 18, 19, 2021. I'm pretty sure these are match. Oh, they're a ruler. Let's see if that alcohol did anything or it just made my board drunk. Seems to have made things a bit easier to get up. Certainly smell the alcohol. Ah, that's precisely frickin' what I was worried it would do. I was about to comment before, like, don't push too hard. Worst case scenario, I'm going to have to replace the headphone jack on this. God damn it. I don't think I did tear it, but worried I came a little bit close. I hate it when you know what you're supposed to do or not do, and you still do it. The next hard part is getting these circuit board to lift up enough so you can get the damned battery out. I think I got lucky with this one. I gave it a push, but it didn't tear it. But even still, I'm disappointed in myself. Yeah, I need to get in under there. What I hate about getting in under this logic board is that you always are going to push that copper stripping away. Yeah, Pedro, when you know it's going to snap and you're wondering whether it's going to be your knuckles or something else that suffers. Tradie, it's going to be less drama than some of the stuff you deal with. I mean, for a start, you're dealing with people. Oh, while you're here, can you fix up this plumbing problem I've got? I know you're an electrician, but it's a frickin' heck. I really loathe and detest hearing while you're here. It's like, ugh. Hey, Defcom, well, go to sleep. You're not going to miss out on anything. Nothing exciting happening here, Defcom. Nothing exciting at all. Ah, gotcha. Gotcha. I gotcha. At least I think I got you. Freaking hell. Honestly, the iPad batteries, so did they really have to make them this hard to get out? Somehow I don't think so. There we go. Hell of a lot of drama for something that should be a lot easier. Yes, I do MacBooks, but MacBooks that people send me, not MacBooks that people give me. I don't have to deal with humans, Pedro. Not like you. So yeah, I had a cool one for you today, Trader Trev. Tested a garage door remote controller. Had power to the controller and RF work, but no motor action. So what was going on there? Was it receiving the signal, or was it... Oh man, that's some deliciousness there. That's worth it for the day. Being able to get a full extraction of the adhesive off the knife. Oh, another one. Pedro, you are a persona, but I don't know if you're personable. This is like when you're doing Christmas wrapping and you run the scissors through the paper and it just glides through. And the robot, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, what, the depressed one? I suppose I can't argue with that. Seems reasonable. The motor burned out. Oh, it's not like I can replace that part. Oh, really? That bad? It seems to me that with a lot of those garage doors, or particularly the front sliding gate doors, front gates, the metal ones where they got the pinion wheel and the motor they seem to be perpetually under-spec'd, or people buy them and they're too weak or something, but they're always giving grief. I know in South Africa it was really nasty business at times with those things, because you'd get to your secure enclosure at 3 in the morning or something like that, and you hit the button and you hear it going clank, 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 and it's like, crap, I've got to get out of my car. I've got to get out of my car at 3 in the morning in South Africa, and so you try and decide whether you just drive on, wait till morning, yeah, or take the risk. A few times I would take the risk, jump out of the car, or you drive around the block a couple of times to see if anybody's watching you. Happy days. I feel this battery is an older edition, which will be fine if it's not puffed up. Oh yeah, it's good. Question is, Pedro, did that mother give her child a whooping? Then again, I mean, like I said, it could have easily been his friends. I know I've had plenty of instances where it's the friends that are at fault. Okay, so here's the predicament. I can test this, but I've got to slip it in under the motherboard. So I've got to go through the rigmarole of slipping on the motherboard, and I can test it by leaving the adhesive protection backing on. Or I can take the gamble, take the backing off, and hope that it works. And then I don't have to do this whole business of slipping it in twice. So it's a 50-50 gamble. Now I'm fairly sure that this is going to be a battery situation, so I guess I should sort of believe in myself and take the backing off. I gotta wonder, Tradie Trev, whether there are things that you're having to trash that maybe we can repair. The screens are about about $90 a piece or something. Last I checked in. Oh wait, you're talking about the Pedro one. Yeah, they're about $480. So yeah, they're not cheap. $480 is a lot of money. Just because some kid decided to sit on your kid's computer. Marvin, that's the one. Yes, Marvin. Thank you for that. Alright. Well, I can actually test somewhat if it's working. Because if I plug it in, we'll see what happens with the charge pattern. If the charge pattern, although the downside is that charger, I can't disable it afterwards. So, flip me. Order of operations can be a pain. That's what I just don't get with a lot of modern electronics equipment. And it's not just Apple, by the way, it's everybody. I'd say ASUS are probably some of the worst for order of operations in laptop assemblies. There are some machines that have come here and I have begged the people not to make me. I've said, look, I will give you money so that I do not have to reassemble that awful machine again. It'd be a dead machine, and they'll go, oh, alright, okay, look, just send it back. And it's like, no, look, really, I really don't want to even touch that thing. That thing it needs to die, okay? Let it die. Let it go into the trash, recycling. There's no need to put it back together. Which reminds me, I've actually still got a Toughbook type machine that I've got to deal with. The person hasn't commented to me or messaged me about it, but I'm sure they're thinking about it every day. It was a dead machine, but nonetheless, people want their stuff back, and I get that, but sometimes the $60 bench fee really doesn't cover the amount of time involved. Alright, so we're charging this up with the new battery. Okay, so we've got the Apple logo. I'm just going to put the A security thingy on. It's looking better now. We're already at 1.2. Shite. No, it's restart. Is it? Or is it just... No, it did. Crap. Or maybe... You gotta be careful here. These batteries sometimes sit around in the packet for a long time. And they're not... They don't hold enough charge to actually work properly the first couple of times. So what you do is you trick them. You put one of these... You plug one of these cables in, and it puts it into DFU mode. And while it's in DFU mode, it's not going to go into the high CPU demand. And so it gives you an opportunity to be able to trickle charge the battery so it has enough to get going. So hopefully it'll come up with a plug into iTunes message. No? Looks like I'm going to suffer here tonight. Crud. I'm surprised this didn't go into... Oh, there we go. Alright. Okay, so we've got the DFU mode up. And the next trick is to quickly swap that cable, which is not really charging very much because the iPads want 2 amps or so. So you got to quickly get that out, quickly get this in before it resets itself. Come on, you can do it. The little fucker decided to... Did I put the battery screw in? I did, yep. Damn it. Alright, another trick we can do. Let's see if I can hold the home button down. Sometimes that works on these ones. Doesn't on the new ones though. If you hold the home button down while it boots, it'll often go into DFU mode. And by often I mean never when you need it to. Come on, give me DFU mode. There we go. Alright. So let's see if this actually continues on charging now. So as you can see, we're doing 1.1, 1.2 amps. We'll give it a couple of minutes. Oops, a bit loud. Trady, what do you do a lot of carpentry, or are you more metal worker or general worker? I'm trying to look at getting a new compound slide saw. There's some nice Makita ones, battery power Makita ones for about $1,800. Beautiful looking things. Just not sure whether I should. I also want a Hihachi or Hihaka or whatever framing, battery powered framing nail gun. They're also only about $1,200. Adrian, that's what we're doing right now. We're injecting current into the battery through the charge controller by holding it into the DFU mode, so it stops it from trying to do a normal boot, which means it's not going to crash out because of the high current demand. So I'm sort of looking to see when it starts picking up a little more than 1.2 amps. It's kind of wanting it to get to around about 1.5, 2 amp. Yeah, it should be at about 2.5 amps. We'll see, we'll see. See, V-Blood doesn't care for battery powered tools. I personally prefer them because in a lot of the situations I do not have access to mains power where I want to use them. And these days at least you can repack the batteries pretty easy. Like a lot of them will use LiFeO for battery cells, so you can just repack them with those. The ones that I don't like repacking are the flat cells. The flat cells suck. The pouch cells, they're terrible. Of course you can always just replace them with something like a model aircraft flat pack. 3S pack or something like that. I mean, where would you be without your cordless power drill these days? I mean, those things change so much of construction and repairs. Hey there, laptop. I'm sort of seeing it poke up to 1.2 periodically, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. What I might do is put this aside. Obviously it's not rebooting continuously, so it is something to do with voltage sag somewhere. Now the question is whether it's a sensor or whether it's a Trident issue or TriStar issue, or whether it's just a battery issue. I'm hoping it's just a battery issue. Ooh, someone just sent me pictures of a poor laptop that got destroyed. They need the data off. Come on, send me the pictures. Looks like a Lenovo, I think. And Pedro being the dirty old man he always is. What is it? Acer? Oh, it's an Acer. Fun. 19H1. Yeah, okay. Given that it has been water damaged, I think certainly the only thing we can realistically do is attempt to recover the data, full stop. Drop it around to me after midday tomorrow, full stop. Oh, electrician by trade. I thought you were, but I just wasn't sure. Old man is a chippy. My old man was a chippy too. My old man was a chippy, built a lot of houses up in Darwin after Cyclone Tracy. And yeah, I picked up some things from him. Probably not a lot, really. Yeah, he probably scoffed at a lot of the work I didn't exactly excel at doing woodwork. I got the prizes at school for doing woodwork and metalwork, but that was only because there was a theoretical test. Like 50% was your practical, 50% was your theoretical. And the theoretical test I got 100% on, which kind of pushed me over with the average, because my practical work was, well, it was tolerable. I mean, I've still got my 1 meter tall ladder and my footstool and my letterbox and my tool. I've still got my toolbox from 1987, 1988. Yeah. Yeah, so I've still got that and I still use it. So, they survived. But yeah, I sort of cheated out the people who really were the tradies at school by the fact that the average kind of pushed me over. So kind of like was a B for the actual practical work and A plus for the theoretical. Yeah, theoretical tests for woodwork, like describe the different types of wood or describe why you shouldn't do joints of this sort of grain and that kind of stuff. Engineering drawings is the other thing that I was very good at. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so I actually felt a little bit bad about the fact because I wasn't expecting it when they just called me up and said, "Oh, Paul Daniels," and I was like, "What the hell?" So I did it because I didn't want to do accounting or biology, so I was like, I'll do Math 1, Math 2, Physics, Chemistry, Technical Drawing, but yeah, biology and accounting, no thanks. Okay, so what do we got here? Did I bring that up? So what do we got? 2016, not turn on. Took it to Apple. They disconnect the battery, connect the power to logic board, and it did not come up. They said it's probably a logic board fault. It's a 1707, so at least the nice thing is being a 1707, we have a chance to recover the data if we have to. Like if we can't get the board to work, we can hopefully get the data off, assuming the NANDs are not destroyed. Personally, I think knowing accounting, like properly knowing accounting as opposed to the shoddy job I do, is a very useful skill. It's sort of boring in some ways, but it's exceptionally useful, and I think it would take you a lot further in life had I taken those classes. Physics, Chemistry, Math 1, Math 2, they were very good too. Though I've got to admit, going from high school, even Math 2, like the highest math that you can do, and then going to Math 101 at university with calculus. I mean, you did calculus at high school too. It's a world of difference. It's agonizingly more difficult at university, especially when your heart's not in it. Especially when your heart's too busy chasing skirt rather than focusing on your studies. Lessons you learn. Okay, I thought I heard something gritty under there, so I just want to wash this bench down. I think that's the hard thing about university, particularly if you've been a really good boy, so to speak, all through high school, and you've done everything you should, and lived up to everybody's expectations, and you get to university, and it starts to sort of like come up in your mind that what the hell am I doing? I'm supposed to be living my life, not the expectations of other people, and that's sort of when everything starts to unravel. And it certainly did for me. Other people, on the other hand, they go to university and they just stick their head down and they get through it and it's done. But it doesn't always work out. Still mad at your teacher at TAFE and telling you not to bother with SQL classes. SQL is definitely one of those things you should learn. Definitely, I agree. See, Trev sounds like my choice of subjects. Got kicked out of home ec. The economics. It was blew an oven up. Fully knew it was gas powered and left it sit there. Oh, man. Why are you people so violent? Where do you get these tendencies? What kind of material is that on the table? This is a fiberglass silicon mat, basically. Cooking mat, yeah. Stuart, yeah, a few of us had that problem. I've got my fair share of scars from that sort of issue at school. I just walked out of the computer room after lunch because I spend my time in there just doing things I wanted to do. And the prize football rugby player of the school, this is a private school, so rugby is a big thing for them. I don't know why, but he decided he didn't like me. He was under the influence at the time, funnily enough, which I know is not good. And I stepped out, and he just came along, and he just thumped me really hard in the arm, and I was like, "What the hell, man?" And he, without even thinking, he just grabbed me and went smack, headbutted me, and it just split my eye right over. And so I was off to the hospital yet again. And I think the worst thing about that, I mean, the injury was, I was used to getting injured. That's not a problem. But the fact that the school was sort of like, oh, he's our prize footballer and he's got to go off to the competition over in New Zealand and all that sort of stuff to compete for us. So we'll just give him a 3-day suspension. How's that? And I guess I'm sort of mad at my parents and my father for not actually doing more. Because, that was pretty brutal. Needless to say, from that point on, I sort of pretty much took matters into my own hands with a lot of people. And so it was a bad thing, but I guess it ended up changing who I am in a way that stopped me being too much of an easy victim. Yeah, B-Blood, I do seem to have a bit of a record with ER. I agree, Pedro. Basically, he should have been expelled and he should have been up for assault charges and all that sort of stuff. But, this was the 1980s, so it wasn't really a thing. I found by the time I left that sort of environment that really the only person that can do anything for you is yourself in many cases. Authorities aren't really that much use. They tell you to go to them, let them know, all that sort of stuff, but most of the time they're in cahoots with exactly the people or the systems that you are having trouble with. I did learn to be very quick with things like chokeholds and liver punches and things like that. That was always handy. I learned that I can't really afford to attack a lot of people directly, so it's better to just be a sneaky bastard and take them down before they get a chance to take me down. And that worked. Got me through school pretty well. University, thankfully, was a completely different environment, and I didn't have to deal with any of that crap. If it makes you feel better, Paul, when I was in grade 2, I smashed my bully's teeth out. Never regretted it. kudos. See, the problem I had is because I wore hearing aids, and so my ears would stick out, and I wouldn't hear people properly. You know, I was a bit of a weirdo. I didn't really mind that so much. And I wasn't really fussed about people's opinions too much. Hung around the library, hung around the computer room. I did alright in sport. I was a very good javelin thrower, a long distance runner, squash player, all that sort of stuff. So it wasn't like that quirky. But even the principal himself at one point said, you know what, you're just going to have to deal with these things yourself. I was like, okay, alright then. But I think the thing that still puts a lid on it is that you know that a lot of the time you end up being the one suffering repercussions of the fact that you took the action to defend yourself. Even if it was sometimes Iraq War II style, preemptive attack. But yeah, getting chased around the schoolyard and beaten by a bunch of people, that was unfortunately a bit of a regular occurrence initially. And no one's going to step up and save your ass. Hey Francis, oh yeah, sorry, I did see your PR. Listen, with the X11 version, don't worry about that one, that's a dead end. In fact, I think most of that project is a real sort of, it's not even properly complete, so I'll have to have a look at your PR and see what you did. It essentially was just done to produce the Windows version, for the most part, but I'll have a look. I haven't had a chance, that's all. I've been busy with my own code at the moment. I'm dealing with code signing certificates and protecting and tainting and oh okay, looks like we've got a bit of dust here, which means we're probably going to have a bit of corrosion on something down here too. I hate this side when it gets corroded. Ugh. See, Teresa, you got expelled. Repeating year 10 for giving principal uppercut. Good God. Hey there, user. Had your mouth washed out with soap? Because you're obviously a few years older than me. No way that would have happened in my time. When I was going through school, they were just starting to phase the cane out. Yeah, Francis, I'm not really sure. I'm kind of wondering whether I even have the proper project uploaded on GitHub, because I do have the B-side ADM 20 type thing, and it runs perfectly here with the meters that I'm using. So I'm wondering whether I actually have uploaded, what the hell, the right project there. Especially, you know, when you said you got those replicated lines there. I don't seem to recall that in the version that I have. So we've got a corroded cap there, unlikely to be at fault, but I'll measure it. I've got itchy nose now. Seems like we've all had some issues with bullies in our lives. But yeah, I'd say my biggest takeaway from it all is that the people that say they will save you, or the people that say that you should go to them if you're having problems, don't. Or they're powerless to do so. So at the end of the day, you got to look after yourself, and I'd say that's more our problem there, or those ones there. And I wish it wasn't that way, and I'm sure those people wish it wasn't that way. But the trouble is, if you're officially there as some sort of protective service, you're probably going to be too crippled by various regulations to do anything. Yeah, trading, vaporizing bullies is much better. Yeah, okay, there we are. We've got a short on that one. So yeah, probably a short on that one. Not sure which one that is, but we'll find out. It's probably a 1v8 or a 3v3. Just trying to find out what board number we've got. This is a 921, I think. I don't know. I shouldn't guess. I don't really know. I'm only pretending to sound intelligent by saying random numbers. Lewis can get away with it. I can't. There we go, 281, yep. Amazing, I was actually right. By the way, I've ordered a replacement mouse to see if it's going to work any better. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to have to succumb to having to use a corded mouse. Okay, which one was it? It was that first one. Yeah, 3v3 G3 hot. There we go. That makes sense. By the way, Pedro, you know how the other night we were talking about how to maybe try and use the test points and things like that? I changed the code around that. It looks for whenever you select a network to see if there is a test point on the network. It just makes it automatically the focus point. You'll also notice I've changed it now that it doesn't change the zoom level as you switch between the different searches, because I was always finding before that depending on the size of the network, the zoom would either be too big or too small. So now by default I just let it stay at whatever the zoom the user has put it at, and it just shifts the center of the view. If people do want to go back to it, I've got it in here somewhere. Yeah, zoom search results or center search results. These are just the small tweaks that I keep adding to try and make Flexboard View better. The mouse isn't running on the silicon mat, the mouse is running on the wood grain, which is especially why it's confusing me, because I would have thought of all things, or most things, wood grain actually should have been pretty good for it. Okay, I've just noticed that battery is still not charging up properly, but I'll have a look after I've taken this off, and hopefully that is actually the fault. I've got to get rid of that as well, and that one there, and that resistor there. Actually, especially that resistor there, that will be a voltage divider, that one. I think. I'm pretty sure that's a feedback divider. So if that goes wonky, that can cause damage to the NANDs under here. These are the small things that you have to look out for when you're doing these kind of repairs, lest it come back later. I'm just going to pink dot that because we need to pay attention to it later. Miles, I really can't stand the trackpad combos because I'm left-handed and they're on the right-hand side, so it really does not serve me well to use the trackpad combos. I'd sooner use a corded mouse than a trackpad combo. So sometimes it's a problem being a left-handed person. Jim, I'll see how it goes when I get myself a tube of the flux. I am a little bit cautious when it comes to new things. Alright, we no longer have a short, so that basically was the primary fault of this machine. But now we have to deal with all the secondary faults, or secondary issues that we're trying to stop causing problems later. Okay, so that's a classic 10 microfarad 63402 size. Okay, the battery charge just changed. We're down to half an amp. So, and now it's picking up again. Makes me wonder whether it's decided to go back into loopy-loop shit. I think it is. We'll see. If it keeps staging up, just keep an eye on that graph. Nah, crap, it looped. God damn it. That's very annoying. It could be a bad battery. That's the other problem. As in, the original was bad and now my replacement is bad. It could also be that maybe the clock or data lines for the battery are damaged as well. So it's turning into a slightly more complicated issue than what I like. Okay, that kind of got stuck there, but that's okay. So we're going to replace all of these dodgy looking caps before we power it up. It's not unusual for a battery that's been sitting in the stock shelf for 6 months to be bad. I'm willing to accept that can happen. Okay, it's another 10. Okay, this one down here is actually a 2.2, but that's a 10. B-Blood, I have been trying to jump start it. Normally this method does do the jump start, but it seems like not this time. Actually, I'm just going to disconnect it. I don't want it just continuously looping. I'm starting to think something's happened to clock and data lines. Let's see, 2.2, 25 volts. Okay, so 2.2 microfarad, 25 volts for that one. .2 35, 2.2 25. Hey there, Jan Zimmy. Tradie, yeah, can be a little bit tricky visually once you get below 402s. 402s, sort of, if you're young and you've got decent vision, you can do them. 603s definitely you can do. So they're not too bad, but yeah, when you get to these 201 sizes like that, it's just too difficult. Although it's amazing to see a lot of people in the Asian regions, they do amazing stuff without microscopes. Oh, did you just see that? Did you see that inductor pop? That inductor popped. At least I think it did. I can sort of see just there. I've never had an inductor do that before. Certainly not one of those ones. They're like solid bricks, these things, so I don't know why it was doing that. And let's see, that's another 2.225 there. So obviously I'm going to have to replace that inductor now. God damn it. Now, I don't know what could cause it to do that. Gecko thinks it was funny. Being a big fat inductor like that, I'm gonna have to pickle it, because I am next to the NAND down here and I don't really want to upset that NAND too much. There we go. It's the easy way to get them off without putting too much extra heat into the board. Yeah, it's definitely got a buckle in it, a puff up on the top. I can only imagine some moisture got in there. Hey there, Ron Rogers. Alright, well, it's not... Oh, man, you're rusted. No way I'm using you. Damn it. Let's try another one. I've got one here that's actually in really good condition. Yeah, there we go. Fortunately, these sort of inductors, they seem to be fairly common around the place. I will be using hot air to get this one off though. I'm not going to put it through the physical abuse of what I did to get the other one off. The thing you got to be aware of with a lot of these inductors, these big parts, is that they will have... the bloody things will have little glue dots under them. Yeah, that one didn't seem to. But anyway, when you've got them, like this one does have the blue dots, right there and there. Preheat the board so I'm not soaking the part. It's only running at 430 at the moment, 430 Celsius. So yeah, I really don't think that was right. I suspect the part was already damaged through liquid. Oops, sorry. All jolty there. Okay, so certainly I'm going to take that and yeah, those three there have got to come off. I'll check this down here. They're holding on, so they get to stay. Going to be doing this slightly blurry. I think I'd put the destination in focus instead of the source. Clean up the connections a little bit, get them to sit down properly. Very good. Alright, while it's cooling off, we'll see if there's anything else that we can spot. There was that one on the other side, wasn't there? And I sort of thought, yeah, there's that. Seems okay enough. Oh, what happened there? Alright. Like an idiot, I forget to let the extractor run long enough for it to cool the board. Tradie, it's all different kinds of work, isn't it, though? Like, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think of where to build my new workshop, and we've got a 6 by 6 meter open carport at the moment, so it's like just 4 posts and a skillion roof. And we don't use it as a carport because it's in the middle of the yard, and obviously we fenced off the yard so that the fur kids don't get out. So I was thinking, you know what? It's already got the roof and the posts, so I was going to lay a slab down and then just build a stud wall underneath for about 4 by 2 of that area under there. When I'm thinking, I'm going to need electrical. That's micro. So I'm going to need electrical work in those walls, and I'm kind of wondering whether it's not going to be permittable because of the fact that it's not actually a dwelling as such. It's just some hack job. Alright, let's see if we get our 20, or whether we get fire and flames. So far nothing, eh? That means our CC1s aren't working, or the connector is... There we go. Connector. There we go, we got our 20 volts, 1 amp, 1.6. That's looking promising. Let's put it into the chassis and see what happens. Hey, Bunty. I'll just get this into the chassis. Attached to premises? No, it's detached from the premises. It's just freestanding about 2.5 meters away from the exterior of our house. You can actually see it in Google Earth. I mean, I could be dirty and just run a great big frickin' 15 amp lead across from, because it's about 3 meters from this window out there. The CD is probably okay, Miles, because it wasn't one of the LDOs that was shorted. If it was one of the LDOs that was shorted, then yeah, the CD probably would have been up the creek, or at least not happy. But because it was just 3v3, they're not a problem. But yeah, definitely if it was an LDO cap, then I'd have to be replacing it, the CD. Ach, niemand. Nah. Where's my little baggies? Where's my dime bags? Just Defcon, what have you been doing? Chasing down executives at Bunnings? What'd they do to you? I'm curious. Whereas like a good story of people getting their justice. What do I want? And if this works, we can have a quick look at that iPad again. We'll try a different battery, and if that doesn't, well, after that, it'll be time to finish up. Oh wow, it jumped straight into 20 volts. It's eager. Okay, Apple logo, it's a good start. Picking up charging current nice there. Hey, Smiller. There's a rule where all external dwellings should have its own stake and MEN. What's a MEN? Also conflicting, it's only allowed one. Oh, yeah, okay, that's a pain in the ass then. So what are you going to do? Maybe I should make it a project and make it a freestanding, freestanding power system. Have my own battery, my own solar, everything. Alright, so that's obviously working just fine. And looks like admin 1 is the person, so that's cool. So we've got it fixed. Huzzah! I'll get paid. Shut that down. I might just see if I can put this somewhere so that it can... No, I don't have the length of cable to do that. Okay. Multiple Earth network. Oh, right, okay. I think we've already got that on this house, because we have a mains box out the front, and then we've got a sub box on this half of the house, where the solar comes in along with the inverter, and then that gets fed back to the main box. This house is a freaking disaster. And yet I bought it. What does that say about me? Not a lot of good things, I think. Alright, let's go back to this iPad and see what we can do. Hey, Gleisha. Well, yeah, you actually hope that most of your jobs are going to be around that sort of speed. So what is that? It's been an hour. It was probably like 3/4 of an hour for that one. And plus I've still got to ultrasonic the board, I've got to reassemble it, I've got to test it. Yeah, so there's still probably at least another 3/4 of an hour of work to be done on that board. On that job, I should rather say. But yeah, I mean, certainly for the actual repair, you try to keep it under the hour if you can. Not that you get a choice. Wow, what the hell's going on here? The repair takes as long as the repair takes. Tell you, it would be a laugh as if it was a bad home power button on this. Like maybe if it thinks it's constantly being pressed. Ugh, stop playing with it, Paul. Oh, that's what she said. How immature. Supposed to be a mature, responsible channel. I blame my wife. Aha, I was hoping that would happen. Something's slightly going my way for a change. I was hoping the fact that I didn't press down on the battery would allow me to lift it back up. Okay. I haven't forgotten micro. I have a 30-minute window basically. Not that you want to push it, but that's what I have. Okay, where the hell did that other battery go? Shit. I think I might have to go deal with micro. Okay, be right back. Okay, where's micro? Where's micro? Hey Luna, you see micro? No? Okay. Uh-huh. Micro.
You shut up. Yeah.
Alright. That's micro sorted out. Just realised I didn't cap the damn needle. Alright. So it's fun having to cap those needles. If you get distracted and do it wrong, it can hurt. Speaking of distracted, anyone know where my other battery went? Two batteries came into this room. I can see only one. Ah, there it is. And this is the other one. So hopefully I haven't actually damaged the contacts as well. That's the other possibility. I'll have a look at under this connector, because that often can happen is when you're trying to get the battery out or anything, you can... Oh, hey!
You done micro?
I've just done him. It's all good. Thanks. What size needle do you use for micro? Oh boy, it's an 8mm long, ultra fine. 8mm long, ultra fine. Yeah, they're actually surprisingly expensive, little bastards. Okay, I'm only seeing one contact visible there on the left. Is that right? I thought there was meant to be two there. 2 plus 2. Oh no, it's only the one. Yep, okay. I can't do this under the microscope. Not enough room to move. We got it in so easy last time. Okay, there we go. Hi there, Keith. Okay, so once again we're just going to plug it in and see what happens to the current map. And yeah, if this all works, this will pretty much be it for the night. I need to go back and work on the programming for Flexboard View. Okay, so 400, 700, 600. So ideally what we want is it should get up to about 2 amps or something and plateau, but stay there. No, that's resetting it. Alright, we've definitely got something else wrong here. At least I think we do. So is it going to reset again, or is it going to... Yeah, there it goes, resets again. Damn. Yeah, Miles, I got to agree. Whoever came up with that style is just like, what the hell were you thinking? I mean, the natural way to do it would have actually had to have that flipped over and then a retainer bracket on there or something like that. Yeah, so why that? Why? It makes no sense at all. Oh wait, it's Apple, so what are we talking about? Yeah, I just don't understand the engineering behind that, the decisions. And it's fragile as hell. Yeah, that just keeps resetting. I'm not sure what to think is causing this problem. I'm just going to pull the battery out and pull the thing out, and I'm going to just measure around a couple of the circuits, see if I can't spot anything. But yeah, it's freaking awful what they did there for that design. Yep, Stuart is given the definitive diagnosis there. Thank you very much. And getting these shields off is also a bit of a schlep. As I said, a schlep. It's like, it's just, you got to put too much force into it, and then it all just pops off in a hurry like that. Catherine ordered syringes of vaccination before they arrived. The size they needed for a cow. You ordered 23 gauge. What's that? Sterile 30 gauge. Yeah, I think these are 30 gauge. 23 is a little bit painful. Literally painful. What was that? Pink coloration needles? So I'm just seeing if there's anything blatant. I'm somehow going to doubt it though. I'm just going to lift up this protective cover here. I've been an iPad 6. I don't have any board view schematics for these. I'm not really even sure where I can measure, other than on here itself, where I can even measure the things I want. So there's that on-off button up here. The on-off button should not be manipulating the charge though. You can see they use a laser to burn these, what do you call it, this text in there. You can see the laser scan lines there. So my two possible candidates are TriStar, which is under here naturally, and it's in a really pain in the ass awkward place too. TriStar on things like the 7 Plus and all that, it's a bit of a nuisance. Likewise the 6S, but this one in particular is really annoying to get to, more than the other two, because there's that big capacitor in the way, and I've never been able to grab that sucker. Could you disconnect the power button? I could, yes. Yeah, you just can't get like a clean square grab on this, you pretty much are forced in a way to cut there and take that corner away just so you can get to the damn TriStar. The only thing that makes me think it's not the TriStar is the fact that it is responding to that DFU mode cable. So in which case I'm probably inclined to more go for the Trident. If there is a Trident. Is there a Trident on the 6S? Is that it there? I don't think... I don't know. I'm not very... Yeah, I'm not very well versed on the 6S's parts. That doesn't really look like a Trident to me. It's the wrong shape. Definitely that's a TriStar. And I mean, it's trying to boot. So that's the other possibility. It actually could be a NAND failure. But then that shouldn't stop it from charging. Well, so it eliminates that possibility again. Let's see if we can find one of those horrible, useless... You can do it without cutting, yeah. I'm just not that... Because you basically need to then get in under it, and I can't do that. Or you need offset tweezers or something. For me, it's just an easier option to cut it. Snip it there, and desolder that. It's not as pretty, I do concur, but I'd make a much greater mess if I didn't. Hey, welcome back, Mr. Ron. Captain Ron. Anyway, yeah, let's see. I want to find... if we can find the battery charge sense lines somewhere on the interweb. Hey, it's Jason, STS. A pot of gold. Ha! iPhone 6. iPhones are dead easy compared to the iPads for this sort of thing. God damn it, man. I told you, wait till later. Ooh, you're iridescent, you're a cuckoo. iPad. Great, my own thread shows up. That's useless. I love that it's showing me iPhone stuff here. Oh, okay, iPad Mini 4. My bad. It's got Sense. Wait, what? It doesn't have comms to the battery? So what's this HD cube line? Thermal I can sort of understand. Sense, Okay, I gotta write it in the language that most people seem to write this stuff. iPad 6 battery weighs. I don't know why that terminology has become a thing. or became a thing, but I've noticed it ever since like iPad, iPhone 2, iPhone 3GS. If only, Stuart, if only there were freaking, what do you call it, board views for this thing that I could get a hold of. Yeah, that's iPad Air 2, that's no good to me. iPad 6, like the iPhone 8, just seems to be a non-existent thing for information. Captain Ron, yeah, they use the term ways to mean like lines or points or paths, things like that. And so they often have these drawings like this, except this is the iPad 2. But they often have these drawings where they show all the lines, like, yeah, they call it the ways views. Try Logi Wiki. I do have that here, but I don't think it has it shown. Where are you? Oh wait, it's over here somewhere. There it is. I don't know what model this is. Come on, why not have the common name on it? Gee whiz. 1954. Pedro, who are you calling yuppie scum? Here we go. That's the power button. No, naturally there's almost nothing there of use to me. Crap. A pad. Diode mode measurements might work. iPad 6th gen. No. Very little for the 6th gen. We don't even know what these lines are, so... Yeah, these I'm gonna do a call a friend thing later. I'm gonna get someone who I know has this sort of information and ask them. Because the TriStar is not the charged chip. The TriStar is just the USB interface chip. And of course, sure, it routes some of the power, but what we're after is the Tigris equivalent. And if I had to guess, it's this chip in the middle, but I don't recognize that chip as a Tigris, so I don't know what it is. This 817K5662. Yeah, I just don't recognize that as a Tigris. Maybe it is, but or equivalent. But yeah, if I had to guess, I would say that is a charge controller. Or maybe that? That'd be a stupid place to put it. Jesse, I was going to, yeah. Okay, Tradie, it's probably not going to have any outcome anyway tonight, so you're not missing out on anything. does that say? 45L 10OA 10AO. No, that doesn't look like. It's too close to the processor anyway. Yeah, I'd probably say that one next to the TriStar is going to be the charge controller. As a guess, as a guess, purely based on the inductor sizes, the proximity, things like that. Partly under, yeah, well, of course there's going to be. Jessica of iPad Rehab, yeah, don't generally call on her for anything. She's got her own stuff to deal with. She doesn't want little niggly Mr. Daniels gnawing on her ear. I've got some good friends here in Australia who can help me out. We routinely share information. They ask me about MacBook stuff. I ask them about iPhone and iPad stuff. So it's a mutually beneficial agreement that we have with each other. What I might try to do is plug in the power and see if it draws anything. Definitely won't be calling Pedro. Pedro doesn't know a damn thing. He only knows how to scam people. That's Pedro's talent. Okay. Okay, it's doing the 70, 100 sort of thing, so that's just looping, I think. Still resetting though. Yeah, I'm gonna go find out from people who know what they're doing. Okay, that's it, enough for tonight. It's 11 o'clock here. It gives me some time to go and do some other important things that have to be done. We did at least get that 1707 working, so that's a win for me. And I will see how we go. Might have another video tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Meantime, take care. Catch you later.